stuff to pull on everybody's heartstrings and getting people, riled up and upset and happy and
Yeah. Just woke up. Alright, wake up.
like it's just all like,
Energy
all the
vampires. Our friends and stuff like they're all having sex or whatever, like related in some kind of way.
oh
Because
God.
that's basically how she explained it. Let me play.
Today, I'm giving you a roadmap of the tangled web of connections from Silicon Valley to Washington, D.C., then all the way back to Sam Bankman-Fried's now-for-sale penthouse in the Bahamas. Then, at the end of the video, hopefully we can answer this very important question. Should investigations into criminal activity be executed by the very parties implicated in the crime itself? I told you in the last video that the FTX scandal boils down to this. Crypto exchange took customers' money and invested it into unknown assets. An incredibly damning write-up about the company was published. Then FTX's competitor, the CEO of Binance, decided to liquidate hundreds of millions of dollars worth of FTX's utility token, which signaled to other crypto investors to do the same, but when FTX's customers went to pull their money out of the exchange, there was no money. The fella at the center of it all is 30-year-old MIT graduate Silicon Valley-born Sam Bankman-Fried, who was pretty much a nobody up until the time that Joe Biden announced his presidential campaign.
His
Just 2
name.
weeks later, the FTX exchange was launched, and it was an overnight success, making Sam a very rich guy. Sam's father, Joseph, a tax law professor at Stanford, helped Sam raise money from investors to get FTX off the ground. Some of the investors include BlackRock, Sequoia, SoftBank, and Tiger Global. After FTX
No
became an
shit.
overnight success, Sam became the second biggest donor to Biden's 2020 campaign.
Pause. he became the second biggest donor to Biden's campaign.
Yeah, just out of the blue.
Before-
Like he
Just random ass person just got rich yesterday.
But listen to his name. Like his name. Just what Beckman Sam Beckman Fried? Like I don't know, like how many people are like got hyphens in their name? The dudes got hyphens in their name.
Yeah, I don't know where he's from. I ain't gonna lie. It screams immigrant to me at the very least.
helping Sam with the financials, his dad was working on a new IRS tax filing system. Apparently, Pops is pretty well connected because back in 2016, Joseph drafted tax legislation for the outspokenly anti-cryptocurrency Senator Elizabeth Warren. And curiously, in response to the FTX collapse within the last few days, Warren has called for regulation of the industry. Sam's mom, Barbara Fried, is also a Stanford professor, and she's co-founder of Mind the Gap, a Democratic political fundraising organization based in Silicon Valley led by Stanford employees. Sam's brother Gabe is founder of Guarding Against Pandemics, which advocates for public investments to prevent the next pandemic. Gabe was a legislative correspondent for the U.S. House of Representatives and an advisor to large political donors in the Democrat Party. In addition to lobbying and advising lawmakers on pandemics, Gabe's Guarding Against Pandemics group endorses candidates on both sides of the aisle who pledge to champion pandemic prevention. My concern here is when they are spending on both sides of the aisle is that they are specifically cherry-picking politicians regardless of party lines that, in this case, will do the most medical tyranny in the event of the next scamdemic. Not only was FTX a partner of the World Economic Forum, even though they've tried to scrub the evidence from their website in the aftermath, but Sam's Aunt Linda Fried is a member of the World Economic Forum. Her day job is an epidemiologist and dean at Columbia, specializing in aging, and her husband is an expert in HIV/AIDS. Epidemiology, I should define, it's the branch of medicine which deals with the incidence, distribution, and possible control of diseases and other factors relating to health. So between Aunt Linda and Brother Gabe with the virus shenanigans, it's giving me pause. It's giving me Vietnam-style PTSD flashbacks of Event 201. And ill fitting purple sweaters in the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. So, over at
Mm.
MIT, there's a fellow by the name of Glenn Ellison. He's the department head of economics and former boss of the Biden appointed SEC head, Gary Gensler. Glenn is also father to Sam's girlfriend, Caroline Ellison, or the CEO of Alameda. FTX's head of ventures and commercial is Amy Wu, who used to work for the Clinton Foundation. FTX's policy and regulation head, Mark
Oh my
Wetjen, served
God.
as Obama's Commodity Futures Trading Commissioner. And it doesn't stop there. The general counsel of FTX, Ren Miller, had served as lead counsel to Gary Gensler at the Commodities Future Trading Commission. FTX's director of engineering, Nishad Singh, recently donated $1.1 million to Becca Balance political campaign in Vermont, as well as $500,000 to the Democratic Party of Oregon. In total, it's been reported that Singh has spent around $8 million on pro-Democrat campaign contributions. And my point is, to summarize, all the high-level employees at FTX or Alameda had ties to the DNC, SEC, or Washington, D.C. But here's what's really weird. I can't find
Hmm.
anything on FTX co-founder Gary Wang. There's 3 poor quality photos.
The part about the SUC, the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, because that's her point. Her point is that how can they investigate them themselves? She meaning that it's the Securities and Exchange
Bro,
Commission who's going to do the investigation, but they got all these damn internal ties with the company, with the
but see,
literal.
this is
Uh,
the exact same thing that that the Democrats have been doing as far as the fact checking. Like, they fact check themselves, and of course, like if they're not gonna want to pass the information on to the people, if they're hiding it to begin with, like all of a sudden they're just gonna be like, oh yeah, yeah, we were, like, man, like I don't like this is why I get pissed off, because like democracy, I believe in democracy. Like, I don't, like, people probably think like I'm like insane because, but I get mad that it's getting manipulated and it's not democracy anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, what they're actually practicing is not democracy. So they can rob people of their money, their investments, all to, because of their agenda, and all of them are winning. Like, they are like,
yeah, because I don't know if she mentions it in this video, but it was a bunch of people who pulled they sold their shares before it crashed. So they blew this shit up that wasn't really worth
but it didn't
nothing from the
crash.
jump.
But it didn't.
And
But that's the thing. It didn't crash. Like, not on its own. Like, they made it crash. They robbed it.
I don't
$32
think
billion dollars.
no, I don't think that's the case. I don't believe that. I believe it was a scam from the jump. It was a scam from the beginning. It was a ripoff, and people ran away with the money. It's a Ponzi scheme. You make something that's not worth nothing into something, and then when the people believe that it's something, you take all your damn money out of it, the money that they put in it, the real freaking money, and you go home. And then they left with the bag because people lost their money overnight.
Well, I mean, in a company like that, like, I do quite a bit of investing. They don't let you just come with, uh you know, with your own, like with cash. Like, you got to go convert your cash into whatever crypto, like most likely Bitcoin, or, if you can get a hold to some USD, some USDT, or something, like, and that's what you invest. So, I mean, one way or the other, like, it's a diversion of funds, but still in all, like, you actually invest in crypto. So that crypto is what was invested. You know what I'm saying? So regardless of what you're saying, like, the real money, this or that or whatever, whatever you want to call real money, because all of it, as far as I'm concerned, is just currency. It's not like, money is silver and gold. Crypto, cash, what, debits and credits in the banks. That's just currency. It's not
But
real money.
well, those numbers on the screen that was the currency turned into zero for a whole bunch of people overnight.
Well, I get it, and but to me, I mean, I'm sitting up here thinking like with all of these, because I mean, look who they got to, like these scams are being run by people in like these colleges that you're talking about, like MIT, um, like smart motherfuckers.
The
So
best and
I'm that,
brightest, the government
yeah,
agents, people like all mixed up in it.
because and I'm halfway thinking like why we can't have some like all the HBCUs, the top, the brightest of the people in all of these different colleges can come together and put these, put together something that's beneficial, not where we actually gonna rob people, but like I really feel like,
Because
that's
it's
really.
easier. It's easier to do this because it's a scam. It's she's talking about them partying. They just freaking partying is what they doing, and they don't have no like they don't care who's getting hurt. Like I'm finna get rich and that's it. Like it's money over everything. Like and I got the great idea and I know it's gonna work. And you do it. And it works. And you just fucking party. Let me play the rest of her shit. It's like 3 minutes or so. I might stop it again.
Of him circulating, but not one interview or clip of him on the internet. His FTX profile picture on Sequoia Capital even has him turned away from the camera. Does he even exist at all? Most of the FTX contributions were to the Democrats, except for Ryan Salame, CEO of FTX Digital Markets, and his $23 million donation to the Republican Party, which is kind of nothing compared to the bags they've dropped and plan to drop on the DNC. But at the top, there is no red or blue, there's just one team, and it tells me they were looking for both parties to comply with what they had in store. Pandemic
Hmm.
lockdowns and mandates, perhaps, or perhaps crypto regulation. It's apparent that Democrats definitely got more out of the deal since Ukraine partnered with FTX through the WF to receive
What,
donation. So
Ukraine?
since FTX makes money off of all of those transaction fees, all of the money funneling into Ukraine, FTX got a cut of. Then Sam turned around and gave a huge chunk of that to the Democrats, becoming.
See, that's just money laundering, and that's what I was saying about the damn all the. They sending another $41 billion or some shit to Ukraine.
Well,
You
see,
know,
but that's the whole thing. Like they're doing the same thing with Ukraine that they've been doing with Israel. Like it's like that's another one of their United States.
it's freaking money laundering is what they're doing,
It's money laundering.
and
But they're
people
they're
are getting
stealing money.
rich.
They're stealing money from us to be able, because see, and that's one of the main reasons why the globalism is such an important thing to Democrats, is because that gives them a reason to send money to different countries. That you know they send money all these different countries with no real, like, I don't know, like they can make up a reason. Like they don't even have to be nothing real. You know what I'm saying? Like they got all kind of investments going on. That's all over. Shit. I guarantee you, if you really looked up all of what's going on in Ukraine, like it's probably all mostly U.S. owned or something that was already began here. Investments that companies that was here that's invested there.
Well, or making money out of it some kind of way. Definitely
Well,
American companies. That's all they
Well, yeah,
do.
yeah, they're making money off of it, but usually money is made from initial investments. It's not just, you just pop up somewhere and money starts
You don't
growing.
have to have no damn investment if the government is giving you $41 billion. That's the investment.
Let's no, but that's how some of the money gets. See, initially, like that's the whole thing, bro. Like business has never changed. It's always worked a certain way. It has an origin. It has a beginning point. So yes, like just like what they did with Pfizer, it was already a Pfizer and Moderna and all them. Like they already were a business, but because they were a business and set up and ready, they can have them come up with these shots and pay them for it. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like
And
they're gonna
that's
definitely make the money
That's not
because
random. That's all the way set up. Government contracts. My buddy,
I
my uncle, my
yes
cousin, my brother, my sister,
yes
my husband,
yes.
somebody's company, and they set it all the way up completely legal, and they waiting for these damn government contracts. They know it's coming. They did it before they knew it was coming before they set the damn company up.
Well, some of them, yes. I mean, some of these companies we know is not new, and that's why I'm saying like a bunch of the companies that's there already existed. They just so happened to go set up shop there because they knew like their initial investment that they had here. Okay, oh, what if I do it over here? Then that's gonna open the door for this, or this. Yeah, I'm gonna have to donate some of this money to whatever, but that's nothing compared to how much I'm actually gonna make over, you know, the next 20 years, 40, what I'm saying? Like 2 years, like with like shit, within 2 years they made so much money.
Yeah, this dude right here got rich as hell in 2 years. That's the FTX, something like that. Let me play this.
Becoming the
Yeah.
second largest donor behind George Soros. And reports were that FTX wanted to spend over $1 billion on the Democratic Party for 2024. By the way, Alex Bornikov, Deputy Minister of Digital Transformation of Ukraine, took to Twitter Monday night, and he officially denied the story about Ukraine's crypto fundraising effort. Quote, a fundraising crypto foundation, Aid for Ukraine, used FTX officials to convert crypto donations into fiat in March. Ukraine's gov never invested any funds into FTX. The whole narrative that Ukraine allegedly invested in FTX, who donated money to Democrats, is nonsense, frankly. End quote. But what did you expect him to say? Yeah, it's all true, nana nana boo boo, sorry pores. By the way, what oversight is there in these billion-dollar US tax dollar aid packages to Ukraine?
That's a
I'm
good
guessing
question.
virtually none. On an even more disgusting note, CoinDesk reported that FTX's operations were run by Sam's inner circle of 10 roommates who all dated each other. They stole billions of dollars from their users and were having company-wide sex parties while doing so. One participant of these parties, allegedly might have been New York Times writer David Yaffe Bellamy, who wrote a fluff piece on Sam, the scam artist, this week and never once mentioned his donations to Democrats or Ukrainian money laundering. I say he might have been a participant because he tweeted about visiting Sam's penthouse in the past and bragged about encountering crypto-themed condoms. Gary Wang's hologram flickering in the corner probably witnessed the whole thing go down. Caroline's supposed Tumblr blog, which was active from 2014 until this past week, detailed the sexual dynamic between the FTX staff, the polyamory, saying that her ideal guy was one who controlled most major world governments. And she said crypto was mainly scams and memes. It's almost too perfect to be true. It's like the very fabric of reality is unraveling. By the way, CoinDesk will do an expose on 10 coworkers living in a weird harem penthouse doing booger sugar all day, ripping off their clients to the tune of billions. But the second one of CoinDesk's writers notices that all these folks have a common denominator, they're TTs, Talmudic types, another acronym for your repertoire, he was fired. It very much looks like a case of Spook Family Robinson, a character set up to fail, most likely to bring in crypto regulation. So what do you think, internet friends? Should the people who are
hmm
connected to this whole FTX fraud be the ones investigating their own wrongdoing? How can the SEC be impartial when Gary Gensler has barely a degree of separation from all of this? Can mainstream media be a reliable source when they're the ones getting whipped by Caroline at the penthouse? Can we vote our way out of this by electing more politicians who just line their pockets with these dirty dollars? Let me know your thoughts.
What happened? What happened during the last recession? The last big recession, what was the big thing that happened just before it?
I don't know. You talking about the housing crisis and when they bailed out the banks?
Bernie Madoff.
I
You
don't
remember
know.
him?
No.
Enron?
Oh, Enron. Yeah, I do remember Enron.
Bro, this is the same shit.
Yeah. I agree.
This is the playbook. Like this is and what did it bring? New regulations on everything. Like the whole money system. Like the banks having new regulate. Like they got bailed out, but they came in with new regulations on. Really, this ain't your money. Like yeah, and they could take it anytime they get ready.
Well, the regulations were to keep from people being able to do that shit and rip people
No,
off like
no, no,
Enron
no,
did.
no. It's so that they like it would gave them more of a chance to do it.
These companies, just like this with the FTX, that's a good example with Enron because that's what it is. It's just a straight up rip off from the beginning.
It,
Like what she said, she thinks that he was set up to fail. I don't think so. I think that they
yeah,
were ripping people off, and that was the plan all along from the
okay.
jump.
Well,
Looks like we got us another hit.
yeah. Because I mean,
He
she's saying
won.
that
Pervert, and all the female employees